Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the DIY bossing series, the series where we take common farming builds to bossing scenarios. Today we're going to take a build that I initially thought is like a pretty common bosser, and then I found out that it used to be, then it got nerfed, then it wasn't used for bossing that much. But it's a build I saw a few people play. I personally like it a lot, and it's the build for Hydra's Sorc. So it uses this like kind of like a... If you played and you kill the council members, you've seen them summon like Hydras before, and it's kind of like a cute build. It's kind of like you summon these little Hydras. They shoot for you. You can use skills yourselves, but you get like more time to kind of dodge around. And for people who have like more tendency to get confused or maybe a little bit more stressed during the bossing fights, I think this is like a really nice build to go inside and kind of like summoner builds, a build that lets you breathe a little bit more during the fight. It doesn't feel as intense. So for people who that is appealing to, I personally really like that idea. So yeah, that would be like a nice build for you to try. And of course, if you're a fire build, you can definitely try this Hydra build out with similar gear that you use on your combustion or meteor gear. That's what I ended up doing. So let me pull up the Hydra's bossing, and I, for Hydra's, actually ran Ubers, but Ubers was a little bit of a long, scuffed experience. Like, it can definitely do Ubers, it just wasn't like as clean as the other ones. So I didn't keep up the recording of it. Let me check, is there a reason why it's not showing? Oh, there we go. This is our declone run on the Hydras. You can see us using Shaco, Shudas, the Guardian Angel that I use in all my videos of everything, a pair of Lava Gouts with 3 max, 2 max on the belt. You can just use a 5 max Lava Gouts. We have this 3 max boots with half freeze, which helps us gain like a little bit of cannot be frozen. You actually don't need it too much for this build, but you gain cannot be frozen with the Lava Gouts. We have this Spirit Ward that we've been using while farming, and this 2 to Sorceress 10 FCR Amulet, bunch of skillers, Torch and an Annie, and a few Rest Charms to get us over what we need. CTA on the switch. You can see 89 fire res, 83 to the other ones, 82 to poison. Even though you really don't need as much, you can run it with 75 to the other ones, you'd be completely fine. We have a total of 6 absorb, and we do run 1 nature's piece, so we can summon an oak sage to give us a little bit more life. Our FCR is 37. It's not too important to have high FCR for Hydras at all. Having some of it does help, just to make sure you can summon fast enough and not like not be slowed down by summoning. As you can see, we put down our Hydras. Please tell me I don't forget to summon the oak for this video. You see, this is just me being a little bit of a noob, forgetting to summon my oak sage. So we should be having more HP here, unless I don't actually have it on, and maybe I'm forgetting. Maybe I actually don't have it on. Oh, I actually don't have it on now that I think about it. I have a BK and I have a dwarf star. That is true. So I'm not a noob, or maybe I am a noob, but not for the reason that I was thinking. So yeah, we go ahead and you can see us sometimes throwing out a combustion. Like, the rest of your skill points can just go into combustion since you have a lot of spare points on this build. Just normally you just have a lot of spare points. But you can see me just trying to keep my distance. We put down these snakes and we walk away. We let them do their job, and we just try to hide behind the pillars as we're doing it. And for the other phases, you can see me taking a lot of risks just to get rid of these spirit fires things. No reason to do that. You really don't need to. But as you can see, I'm just putting down the snakes in a central-ish location, and I teleport away, running away all the time. You don't really need to put yourself in danger for this build. It's part of like the appeal of it. You can see I'm like teleporting around mostly to make it faster. But yeah, we hide behind the pillars, we let the snakes do the job, and whenever they're done, we go ahead and recast them. Something again that's nice about this combustion is you really don't have to pay attention to it too much. Every now and then I just cast it in order to do a little bit more damage. especially during the skeleton phases. Combustion just with like the value points does so much. And you can see we cleared this so fast. For a declone fight, like this took us like 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes. Really not like a problem in terms of like difficulty. You blink and you miss it kind of fight. So super viable for this type of engagement. We're using now a Steel Shade over a Shaco for like no reason. I think it had CBF and I needed CBF for this fight. We're using a Guardian Angel for the max resistances. You can just have rubies in it. Death's Hand for some PLR. Yeah, I'm going over the gear. BK for skills and life. We have this like random rare belt. It does not have PLR, so this kind of belt would just be super cheap to get. It doesn't have a lot of life on it. Not a lot. It has a lot of strength. It has good res on it too, so it's kind of cute. So I just end up using it. You don't need something like this. I could have gone without a belt completely, and just like I guess I would need a belt for the potions, but otherwise like you wouldn't need it. I'm using a Nature's Piece, which is nice for the Oak Sage and for the max resistances. This is the same amulet I've been using, again, I think on all my Sorcs. Just a few brilliant crafts just to get something with 50 PLR is all you need. 50 PLR shield and 25 PLR boots that we used on most of our Rathman attempts. We get 30 FHR total with the charms and with the belt that we have. Yeah, I'm readjusting my stats. So I'm all confused about what I have. Yeah, so I need a little bit more strength. And I'm only now realizing it. So make sure to adjust your gear before you go in. But we're on pluggy, so we can just fix it whenever we need to. And while doing like this in-between phase, something I noticed with the snakes is that this phase took a long time. Like it was really slow. You can kind of see me there a little struggling, so I skipped through it. I didn't keep it. I wanted to show it in the beginning, but it was just so slow. And it's part of like kind of like this thought that I had. I've been wondering why snakes are like they're not insane at mapping. They're relatively like they're safe, but they're relatively slow. And I was kind of expecting them to do a lot better, and I was told they were nerfed at some point in time, which is a shame because I think this is like a really nice build, even though it's kind of like automatic auto aim kind of build. I still think it's really nice, but as you can see, we're not having too much trouble for this phase. Like first phase usually is a little bit annoying. You can see me throwing down the combustion every now and then to make sure we do that little bit of extra damage. The first phase, we just kind of teleport away from Glacial Spikes and the the Poison Novas. So we're not really having a trouble with like with Juves or like with using Juves. It's just that the fight was taking a long time. Just in terms of like killing Mendon, it took a little bit of time. And you can see we have a lot of time to dodge. We're not really in danger from the spikes. So at the very least, this was very safe. It felt very safe, just a little bit slower than the other versions that we tried. And compared to another fire build, which is Meteor, it was significantly less like fast. Just like Meteor tore through like phases so fast. Yeah, you can see us skipping through. And yeah, that was like one thing that I noticed like once starting this fight. Cages are tough to break with this build. This is like one real downside. Cages are tough to break, so I put Firebolt, which you max anyway for the Hydras. I put it on my left side cast just to kind of break the cages with it. After playing this phase, I noticed that if I stand close to Rathma, even if I get caged, kind of like the splash damage from the Hydras will destroy the cage anyway really fast. So maybe that's kind of like a tactic you can use if you're using Hydras. You can see if I'm like far or if there's like other targets, the cage will not break. So that's just kind of something to keep in mind. If you dislike this kind of aspect, then maybe you stay away from Hydras. But otherwise, the fight was relatively simple. You can see it doesn't take a lot of juice from us. It is, again, a lot slower than the other builds that we tried, which, yeah, is up to you to decide whether that's like a thing for you or not. I just want to show that you can. do this. Not that you should. And yeah, this is, just to remind you guys, this is a sped up version of this fight. So this fight is a lot longer than it seems like. This is why I'm feeling like, oh wow, this was so slow to do this, even though it doesn't look like it was that slow. We do manage to keep like most of our potions. We use, I think, 18 there, so that's not too bad. And we get to the last part of the fight. Nice thing about the last part of the fight is that you really enjoy the splash damage hitting like both Mendeln and Rathma. It doesn't take as long as the second phase. Another thing that is really nice is that I get to kind of like throw down the snakes and run away from the Void Knights. I don't really stay close to them. You do see that I'm using a lot of potions though, compared to the other fights. Like we're already kind of like down on our belt. I don't know if it's because of like fight RNG. Maybe like my RNG was a little bit worse, or maybe it is just the build. So yeah, I don't know 100% what is the reason. You can see that we get like everybody bunched up in the middle and suddenly we clear them really, really fast and really efficiently. So maybe it is just like fight RNG. These things do happen. Fight RNG is real, and it does affect your outcomes quite a bit, especially like in the beginning. Once your builds are like more, you know, consistent and strong in bossing, like the RNG may matter less because you're just so strong that you just consistently go through it. You can see that we're doing okay. We're still like yeah, now we're throwing a cube, which we didn't really need to do on any of the other builds. So that kind of tells you how this build was faring compared to the others. Yeah, we end up with just Rathma there in the end. We circle around her. She shoots these spears at us. And overall, like, we did finish with a full build, but not with a lot of juice to spare. So again, I would like to see some changes or buffs to the snake build. I personally really like it. I think it's really cute. But who knows if they'll ever do something for Hydras. Overall, the fight wasn't difficult. I didn't feel like it was hard compared to the other ones. Like, I didn't feel like I'm struggling. I just noticed that I'm using more potions. The fight was slower, and it's mostly an issue of like the Hydras don't do as much damage as the other builds. That's what it felt like, at least. It could also be that it's a matter of like my gear doesn't specifically support Hydras. That could be the case, but you can see even with this budget gear, we could make Hydras kill tier 0 clone and Rathma without too much of a struggle. With that said, thank you for watching. If you like this content, make sure to drop a little bit of a like and subscribe and all the other free stuff that you can do with the press of a button. I will come back with this bossing series. Hopefully I can release one more DIY episode before we go over our Necro Rags to Riches. I don't know if I'll have the time. Hopefully I do. If I do, it will be the Meteor episode. Meteor is already like a fairly well explored build, so if it's not covered here right now, hopefully people still have like places to check it out from. Otherwise, I will cover it in the future whenever I get the time. I saved like the footage. Just sometimes we run out of like you know, trouble in terms of like recording in time, like all the kills and doing all the other types of content. Anyway, with all this blah 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 said, I'll see you in the next video or in the next stream. Probably the next DIY episodes will cover the Necro, which will be leveling through like the recent days as I'm probably releasing this. And yeah, have a good whatever you're having. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye bye.